My name is Nadia. I'm from Probi. We are a prop tech real estate company licensed in the US in over 7 different states, going nationwide soon. I think Miami is the best place to thrive in when you're a crypto savvy entrepreneur or innovator. I think a lot of people are concentrated there who like to innovate and are into crypto. So I definitely think Miami is a great place to innovate in. It's amazing that we have these yearly token events here connecting people worldwide, and I think Dubai is very forward-looking, and the conversations that you could have here you can't have anywhere else. So it's great to speak to locals here and to understand their perspective and their take on the bull market and the crypto market and the future in general.
我叫瓦西娜，我是 Vilo 的创始人。那 Vilo 用一句话来形容，就是 BNB 链上面第一家也是目前最大的 PayFi 平台。个人现在 base 在法国，但是我其实觉得中东，尤其迪拜是一个非常好的作为 Web3 创业的基地。第一点是当地的人才密度，第二点呢就是政府和监管对于这个行业的友好程度。我觉得纵观全球来看，迪拜或者阿联酋对于无论是从监管对 crypto 的态度，以及全球资本的汇集，还有是人才的密集程度，我觉得都是现在所有地区和国家里面其实数一数二的。所以我认为，其实迪拜是一个非常好的适合 Web3 创业的地方。
Hi everyone, my name is Dominic Chang. I am Chief Business Officer and Vice President for MapleStory Universe. So our team is based in Abu Dhabi, UAE, the capital city of UAE. And UAE is a very strategic base for MapleStory Universe. It provides regulatory clarity, government commitment, as well as global connectivity at the same time. And UAE's rise reflects the global industry diversification. It's not a competition. So as I mentioned, MapleStory Universe is building the ecosystem that lets everyone to participate in building the future of entertainment.
My name's John Radoff. I'm the founder, one of the co-founders and CEO of Beamable. Well, I like to think I live in the metaverse, and I'm not bound to any place and space and time, but I'm physically located a lot of the time in the Boston area. Our team is all over the world. We've got people in Europe, Asia, North America. I think the age we're in, it's about figuring out how to get teams to collaborate and getting the best people from anywhere in the world. This is one of the great events in crypto at any point in the year. Like, this is the place where investors, KOLs, actual people building real things, exchanges, market makers, technical people, they're all here. So it's a great event. At Beamable, we have a couple of different communities.
My name is Howard. I'm the founder of Alio. Alio is an L1 that offers programmable privacy, namely through private smart contracts. I'm based in the US, as is our team. I think the US is, especially with the change in the administration, has now become a great place for developers to build and to build in crypto. Dubai is wonderful. It's a lovely environment. There's certainly a lot of opportunities for crypto here as well. And it's clear that there's increasingly more regulations that are going to help create structure for crypto.
Hey guys, I'm Jay. I'm the co-founder of Place Out, and we are a mini games distribution platform. Well, as a crypto founder, you're based on an airplane most of the time, but I do pay rent in London, and I spend a lot of time in Dubai as well. Love Dubai. I've been here for a very long time. I've been a resident for over 15 years. A crazy environment, always changing, growing, obviously under an amazing leadership. Has been tremendously open to Web3, entrepreneurship, and different kinds of cultures coming in, and was really one of the first regions that opened my eyes up to the blockchain space and all of its possibilities.
I'm Michael, co-founder and CEO of Zero G, also known as Zero Gravity Labs. I've been based all over the place, I would say, more like a digital nomad at the moment. I've been home literally 5 days out of the year at this point. But usually it's been San Francisco, but I'm now relocating to Singapore actually. And I think both ecosystems are very strong for the Web2 ecosystem. Both feature a lot of investors, as well as a lot of really great builders in the space. In San Francisco, it's more heavily geared towards Web2 AI. In Singapore, it's more on the Web3 AI side. So it's a nice combination of balance. Well, right now it's very hot. I'm sitting outside in 42 centigrade weather, but overall I love it as an environment. A lot of innovation happening here. Obviously, a lot of infrastructure and financing is coming from here as well. It's developing into a crypto hub. Token2049 Dubai. It's been a great conference so far. I've seen a lot of builders, a lot of funds, exchange relationships are out here too. So it's really easy to catch up with people.
So I think community is very important, and that's why we have. So for Proppy, our community is mainly our agents, purely because they get to choose a title for our buyers and sellers. How do we manage that? We manage that with our Pro Token, which is a token used within our ecosystem. It's the only US real estate utility token that we use to incentivize our agents to use the platform, to increase the quality of their transactions, such as better disclosures, better listing on Proppy, referring more agents to our platform. So we incentivize our community by educating them and rewarding them with Pro Tokens for using our platform.
如果没有社区就没有产品，如果没有社区就没有，我觉得所有创造的任何的项目就都是一纸空谈，因为社区和用户才是我们最终产品需要服务的对象。我们会利用我们的 treasury 的一些 reporting 的fund 去支持到这些给我们真实反馈，并且把真实反馈应用到我们产品里，这样子我们才能会逐渐打磨出来一个成功的产品。
So basically, the community is the backbone of the community, of the project, that drives the next step of MapleStory IP's expansion with the adoption of new technologies. And so we are very active in terms of community communication with the community, and believe the transparent communication, consistent delivery on promises and designing systems is important for our project. They are part of our project, and we are going to grow with the community.
We have the developer community because we have people using our platform to build games, right? So we have a community for them to help them learn how to build things, and that's all about supplying content, having people there that they can talk to and ask technical questions of, and also ask questions of each other. What we found is that as we're launching a token, we had to keep that community a little bit separate because we have an enormous number of people that have shown up, like million plus people that have shown up for the anticipation of the token launch. And when the degens show up and kind of interrupt the flow of communication in the developer channels, it wasn't good. So we actually ended up having two completely separate Discord servers for the community. But they're both super important. Like, that's the way you get organic growth in this business. Otherwise, you're going to spend way too much money on marketing, which is going to eat up your margin. Gaming is a global market.
Community is a big part of Aleo and the ecosystem. We have a large Discord. I try my best to join the community call myself. And there is, I believe, a very good set of independent contributors who understand what ZK is, how it applies in the Aleo ecosystem, and they're trying to push for better privacy and better kind of composability in a system like ours. Well,
we look at communities in terms of different layers like a cake. It consists of the people that use your product, that invest in your product, and that are just in and all around your ecosystem. And so we have communities from all different areas of the world who speak different languages, who have different cultural attributes. And so we're super respectful to that, and love to localize our tone, our approach to things in a very local way. So ground up is usually the way that I like to do it.
Oh, that's one of the key topics in my heart. Community is absolutely essential. So community, well, how can we call ourselves a decentralized protocol if you don't have a community? If you run layer 1 infrastructure and there's one validator, that's centralized. Same with a community. If you have two people, then it's still centralized. So community is there to really be long-term owners as part of the network, and to steer the network into a direction where we fulfill our mission together, which is to make AI a public good. Initially,
So I think we have a good presence in the US markets as of today. Definitely looking to expand in the Asian markets. I think there's a lot of potential there in terms of exponentially growing our non-US users. I think they would really appreciate the value of the token and how the token can be used for many different angles. We are definitely looking to expand in the Asian markets, working with Panoni right now to understand the culture and to understand what do we need to do to make sure that the transition is smooth and that the expansion is successful. So definitely eager, and I think our DApp, which enables users globally to mint their addresses, would be a great stepping stone to enabling these users to buy more Pro tokens and to join the ecosystem. The Web3 builders
我们做的是去支持全球的跨境转账，因为跨境转账在传统的市场面临着很多的问题。传统的 market size 对于 remittance 是有700个 billion dollar 这么多，但实际上大部分还是被于传统的银行、跨境转账公司所垄断。传统支付一个是非常贵，可能有的地方会甚至高达10%以上的一个磨损，另外一个就是非常慢，另外整个的过程是不透明的，有的时候卡在中间，你不知道这个问题出在哪。我们目前看到全球跨境转账通点最多的地方有2个通道，第一个是中东和印度、中东和菲律宾之间的通道，这个比较大的通道就是欧洲和非洲之间。
So, as a global project, we're not prioritizing any specific. Instead, we are seeking the very specific audience who is looking for the new value that we are providing with the new technologies combined with the power of our MapleStory IP. And as we are seeing more and more infrastructures, more and more regulations that are developing in the industry and in many countries, we are going to see the volatility is naturally going to be. However, really matters is that we should focus on the fundamental value that gives much more stability for the investors.
And we don't really focus on any region more than another. North America and Europe, of course, are very mature markets in gaming, but they're the lower growth markets now. One of the highest growth markets is the Middle East. You've got markets like Saudi, for example, where it's a very young population and there's tons of gamers there, so it's super important for the future. All around APAC, of course, games are ingrained in the society and more people are able to afford games and participate in the gaming market. Gaming is a global business, right? So if you look at gaming worldwide, it's over 3 billion humans who are gamers. It's a $200 billion a year industry. So I believe that the companies and the technologies that will be successful in the future have very horizontal strategies in terms of target markets, like geographically, target consoles, target platforms, and also a distinction between Web 2 or Web 3, frankly. Like we're here at Token, there's a lot of people talking about Web 3 games, but last year there was 19,000 games shipped on Steam, and I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of games shipped on mobile. The player doesn't care about Web 2 or Web 3. On the other hand, there's just a massive gaming market that doesn't care about those distinctions, and they just want a fun game. So if you want to be in competition with the gaming market, you have to be at the very best of those 19,000 games that were shipped on Steam last year. So I think it's just important to have a very global perspective, as well as one that doesn't overly silo the gaming market into niches or business models. Just make great games and then figure out the right business model to support that great game vision that you have.
Every market is important. I think that there's a lot of opportunities in Asia and in the APAC region, namely, especially with Hong Kong, Singapore, and Japan. I think the regulators have really started to take a serious look at how digital payments and how financial transactions are going to work as we start to integrate crypto into the real world. And we are very excited to be in a lot of the conversations there to try to help define what the status quo should look like and to start rolling out some pilots of that, especially when it comes to confidential and secure payments. I think the technology is still very early. I think that ZK has many to come in terms of advancements, both in performance and in capabilities.
We're a UAE-based company, actually, mainly because the UAE is super friendly when it comes to entrepreneurship, crypto founders, and obviously the regulator here being super open to transformative businesses. However, However, as a mini games or as a gaming platform, you have to be open to different gamer categories across the globe. Everybody loves to play games, so I don't think we can really prioritize a region specifically, but we can, I guess, through data prioritize who's using our platform more. But yeah, I think for us it's kind of massive reach, trying to get amazing games out there globally. Obviously for regions like the UAE or regions like South America and that are vastly different, we love to kind of localize games into their own language. We love to look at games and how to bring them into culturally fit dynamics as well that could potentially be a market fit to the local population. Because when you look at, I think like Dubai is an interesting one because it's a very international crowd, a soup of all different nationalities here, but there isn't that dynamic at all. When you go across the border, you go to Saudi or you go to South America and Africa, they're very local, they're very in their cultural dynamics. So we're really looking at ways that we can bring specific games and make them market fit to different languages, different cultural preferences and all of that.
Because we have a limited number of people, we have to focus on some core markets. And so the US, China, Japan, probably Vietnam as well from a builder standpoint, India from a builder standpoint, and South Korea very as well for community building there. So those are some of and Turkey actually, one I forgot. Those are some of the initial key markets. But from a kind of retail user standpoint, so we need to capture a lot of attention there. But from a operational side, we definitely want to have a presence in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, just to be part of this new burgeoning ecosystem that's building here of new builders, of kind of the financiers that are here, of the talent that's moving into the regions. We already have some people based in Dubai. One kind of thinking that we have is it's almost impossible to time the market over time, especially with like a launch and teaching a team.
Maybe what I would say is don't give up. We've been innovating since 2016 and we've always been the OGs and the first ones to ever launch. So we've done 3 different use cases which were the first ones ever, and what we found was that it took some time to get people, investors, governments, agents. It took time for getting these parties to listen to us, but it's just about not giving up and being patient. And then you find yourself in a much different position once they start paying attention and you are the first one to ever do it, and then it becomes a lot easier, right? It's just about the timing, I think, and just keep on innovating and just have the patience. Continue educating people, continue speaking about your project, and don't give up, because the time will come where they will listen and you will be the first one to have ever done that.
包括像自身实际的实力，并且认真讨论的短期、长期对这个行业能够创造的价值，以及行业能够给予你的惊喜。对，我认为所有人都能找到他自己的赛道，跟卡住他自己的生态位，但是可能在不同的阶段，比如说作为一个刚毕业的大学生和一个在大厂里面可能已经做过10年的人，可能他想要的东西是不一样的。我认为 crypto 是我们这一代面临的前所未有的机会，但是机会清楚说我自己的长处和短处，那去发挥合适的平台和合适的阶段，去进入到一个合适你自己的位置。
I think the current volatility itself simply proves that we are still very early in the industry. However, we are seeing more and more infrastructures for larger liquidity to come into the market. We are seeing more and more sophisticated regulations that safe nets all the investors' interests from such volatility. However, we should definitely focus on the fundamental values that we need to be creating actual values that really matters. So I'm not saying MapleStory Universe is going to set the standards, but I strongly believe what we are doing is also going to be contributing to the maturity of the industry in general.
I think people get really wrapped up in tokens, and tokens are important in our business, but you have to be focused on fundamental value creation, right? So short of just playing the meme coin casino, like you've got to actually be building things. right? So if you're building a game, be building the game. You have to have a lot of velocity. You should be shipping every week an update to that game. Investors want to see that you can actually build a game, that it's got forward progress and momentum. If you're building a technology, it's really no different. You have to be able to ship regularly and keep putting yourself out there, right? So build, create substance, and solve real problems. Don't just solve invented computer science problems because they sound cool. Find a customer base that needs the problem, solve for them, and do it better than anybody else. And there happens to be certain markets, like DePIN, for example. We're in the decentralized physical infrastructure network, DePIN sub-market within crypto, which so happens to be a really great use case for crypto because you can use a tokenized economy to do things like the incentivization to add supply in a much more capital efficient manner. You can align incentives between the people who use it with the capacity providers much more effectively. So this is a real use case for tokens and crypto generally that actually has substance behind it. Like a lot of really interesting applications built on physical reality and solving problems for markets, which, by the way, the customer is not a customer. They're a Web 2 customer. They're people that don't even know what Web 2 or Web 3 is. They're just the general customers in technology in the world at large who need things solved for them. And when crypto can solve that well, I think it's on a path to success. When it's just solving for the sake of, problem in search of a solution kind of things, or solution in search of a problem, that's way too many things that have been in crypto over the last few years.
It's important to stay kind of focused on the long term. And certainly for us, we're continuing to evolve with technology. I think that if you kind of stay with it, you'll start to see the rise of entirely new categories of crypto use cases that are not supported on existing L1s. For example, in the space of payments or in identity, gaming, and machine learning. Those are areas that I think are going to be very promising, especially with ZK Tech in the years to come.
I've been in the space for quite a long time now. I think for anyone that's coming in for the first time, or this is, a new thing to them, so you're gonna get ups and downs. The market's gonna slap you a few times, and that's very normal for any emerging market, any emerging technology, right? We're still really in the trial and error period, I think, in the blockchain space. So I say this all the time with people that I speak to, is I feel like we're still in the dial-up modem of where the internet was, when you can hear that, we're still days when it comes to Web3. A lot of people still have to, go through the clunkiness of, signing up to wallets and seed phrase and all of that stuff, which just shows you how early we still are. And obviously the market is an interesting one because it follows the global market trends and what's going on out there, which is sometimes great, sometimes not so great. And as a builder, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. I think that's something that will at least keep you moving regardless of where the market shifts, right? And I think the longer that you stay in, you're going to see cycles up and down. So just, if you're going down, everything that goes down comes back up, and vice versa.
We have to take the best kind of first principles approach. It's very difficult, for example, to predict things like the tariffs impact on the equity markets, which then impacted the crypto markets, because crypto is a kind of long tail asset. So don't try to predict markets. If you're ready to launch, although always better to launch in a market that's not kind of like sideways trading, you lose some of your momentum and like mind share and so on. But strong projects over time will have their community support them no matter what the environment is, especially if it's built for the long term.